Welcome back to another episode of Right Here in Mass. Joining me today is Tricia Cromwell, who has been helping clients elevate their style and streamline their wardrobe since 2008. As a seasoned wardrobe consultant, fashion stylist, and closet designer, Tricia understands the importance of having a well-organized and functional closet. Tricia, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you here. I think, as I was mentioning before we began recording, it's going to be a fun episode,
Yeah.
especially because I feel like you were one of the first people I met when I first started in business. I feel like we go like way back. It's been a long
Yes,
time.
yes, seriously. That's why I was saying, like, all the things you're doing and to see you grow, it's just like amazing. Amazing.
I love it. And same for you,
Thank
which
you.
is very cool. And that's especially why I'm really looking forward to having you on to talk about what you've been up to. And so that's
Yeah.
where I'd love to start, is to have you share with our listeners who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Tricia Cromwell of Trust and Tricia. So I started my company in 2008 as a wardrobe stylist. And this was really just to help the everyday woman figure out what her style is, how to dress her body type, and how to build a wardrobe that makes her feel like she's showcasing her personality, even if she works in an office with a dress code, or even if she's a stay-at-home mom, just to really get you prepared because I want women to feel their best. And I feel like we put ourselves last all the
Mhm.
time. That evolved because one of my biggest and most popular services is a wardrobe edit. Because everyone says, I have all these clothes, I have tons. I don't need to buy anything, but I don't know what to do with them. I don't know what to put together. So that quickly became my best selling service. In doing so, I realized a lot of the reason people don't wear all of their clothing is because they can't see it or
Mhm.
find it because it's not organized. So that's when I brought custom closets into the mix, which was about 2016. And that was because once I pulled the whole wardrobe out of the closet, put outfits together, compared to my checklist to see what you still need, what we could add, compared to your Pinterest board, what's the vibe you're going for. Then I would go to put everything back in the closet, but I wanted it to be in an organized fashion, obviously, so that you could see and be able to revert back to what we've done. And I found so many closets have one rod, one shelf, and nowhere to put shoes, nowhere to put folded clothing, nowhere to put bags. And that's when I started to realize that I really had to remix the function of the closet in order to allow my clients the function of their clothing that lives in there.
Yeah.
So I started custom closets, and I just feel like with COVID, it took off because I think a lot of people made the switch, and I feel like now the switch is going back, which I'm happy about, but people made the switch from investing in their daily wardrobes, right? Because we didn't leave the house. This is a pandemic. Who cares about what jeans fit me? Really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people really started investing in their homes because we were stuck there. And
Yes.
now, everybody started working from home. Who had a designated office? So where am I fitting my desk? Am I building an addition? Is this the time now that I want to move? Am I, renovating the basement to put my office? And I just realized that at that time, a lot of people pivoted and they were investing a ton into their homes. And that's when even myself, we're sitting around our homes like, that really bothers me. Oh, I really don't like that. Oh, I can't stand that. I want to paint that.
Hmm.
And organization just became huge because you really can't function. You can't even really figure out how to furnish a room without having the proper storage, and that usually starts in the closet.
Yes.
So
So true.
so now I've kind of married the two where I have my clients that we go through their wardrobe, and then I'm also organizing their wardrobe, and I come back in seasonally and I just reorganize. Maybe I, switch over if you're switching for the seasons. And then I have my clients that come to me just to get organized and say, help, my closet is a disaster. I know what I have, I think. I can maintain it, but please give me a place to start and make this space work.
Yes. And it's so awesome that it's such like a natural fit for you to add on the closet design
Yeah.
piece because like you said, it's like as you were going through the wardrobe edits with your clients originally, they would rediscover all these pieces that they're like, wait a
Yes,
second, I forgot I had that and I love
yes. Like,
it.
how many times have you bought something and then been like, oh, I already have one of these? But
Mm-hmm.
it's an impulse buy because you didn't remember you had it because you haven't seen it in 4 years because it's stuffed in the back of the drawer or on the
Yep.
top shelf way back there that who knows what gets lost back there because we're short and we can't reach it.
Exactly. So true. And one
Uh-huh.
thing I'm curious to hear is I'd love to hear your background as how you even got into wardrobe and styling in the first place.
So I have zero formal training. It really came from experience. So I was always in retail. I was in merchandising. I was in management. I was an assistant buyer when I was just in high school. So I had already really formed relationships with clients that would, repeat back to the boutiques that I worked in, specifically one of the men's boutiques that I bought for. And it got to the point that I knew their size. I knew what they bought last time. I knew when we got something in, hey, you need this to go with that, sweatshirt you bought last time. So, and this is 1997. Okay. So this is like well before we had like store personal shoppers that are like logging the data like this. I was doing that.
Mhm.
And then I went to college for fashion merchandising, and I really realized that everything I was learning, not everything, 90% that I learned in school, I was already doing at this job I had where I was already a manager, merchandiser, buyer. So it was a great experience, of course. But after I graduated, I was like, I'm ready to go. And
Yeah.
I had always kind of been the go-to person for like friends and family. I have this event. What do I wear? I just bought this. I don't know how to wear it. And I really have to credit my friend, my best friend for 20, 100,000 years, that for being my shopping partner, because literally, like, we didn't have hobbies. We still don't have hobbies. Like, our hobby is shopping,
Yeah.
going to the store, trying things on. But the thing that helped the most is even if we went to the store and grabbed a huge haul, right? And then we went back to like our dorm room in college or like our apartment after, and then we'd have a try on session. Literally, that was our idea of fun. It still is. It still is to this day, like with kids running through our legs while we're trying to do everything. But it was like, so I gained so much information from that because my friend was such a willing guinea pig, and I didn't realize at the time because we're trying things on, and she's like, "This looks awful," and I'm like, "Oh, it's because it's too long, or the belt needs to be higher on your waist," and it's just kind of things that came naturally to me that I never realized I had a gift that other people could benefit from because
Totally.
they didn't so much see. Or even the fact of when you go shopping and you're tired and you're hot and those god awful fitting room lighting and mirrors, and you're
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm the person standing there going, nope, now try this. Oh, we don't like that. You know why? You need a petite length. Let me go grab it for you. And it's like a coach. I'm making you do it. So
Mhm.
the persistence and the support combined with the knowledge, I realized there are a lot of people outside of my circle that can benefit from this. So I just said, I'm starting a business. And everyone said, you're crazy. And I said, watch me. And
And now
everyone
here
told
you
me,
are.
yes, I can't tell you how many. You can't be a fashion stylist in Boston. You have to go to New York. You have to go to LA. That's not a thing in Boston. People don't need that. And I'm like, but everybody outside is wearing clothes. Where
Yeah,
did they get them from?
literally.
And like, I'm not. And I think also at the time, because this was 2008, I officially launched. It was like the Rachel Zoe era. She had her reality show, who she's amazing and I love, of course. But I think people then, far more than they do now, associated a stylist with a red carpet, the
Yeah.
Oscars, the Emmys, a celebrity. And from the jump, I knew I want to help everyday people that have an issue and just really make an impact on their lives, not just a one night kind of event. So we
Mhm.
can do that in Boston, and we did.
Absolutely. And you brought up a great point about that too, that really a personal stylist can be everyone. Because I feel like there is a stigma that if you have a work with a personal stylist, you're quote unquote wealthy or rich. But
Yes.
like you said, anyone really can work with a personal stylist. And it doesn't have to be, like you said, just an event. It can be for your everyday wardrobe that you have for now years to come.
Exactly. And that's what I aim to get people set up so that when those one-off events happen, they don't have to run out and shop and they don't have to run out and hire someone because we have already established for you, this is your going out dress. This is your, this is the section of your closet when you have celebrations, baby showers, weddings, whatever, galas. This is where you're going to look to. And for a lot of my clients, I take pictures of outfits and I make lookbooks for them, but I also have a copy. So like
Yeah.
literally clients reach out to me and they're like, oh, I just got invited to this, or all of a sudden I have to go away for a work conference, but it's in Florida, but it's indoors. I'm hot, but I have to be dressy. What do I do? And I'm like, page 4, you can wear that, pack this one. So it's like, it's all about getting you prepared, because if you're not prepared, it's not going to happen, because we're
hmm
always in a last minute scramble for something.
Yes, so true. And so ironic that you brought up the conference example because that is something that I feel like, especially now that in-person events are happening again,
Yeah.
especially bigger ones, that's something women are going through right now is like, oh shoot, I have my first conference in 6 years. What do I wear to that?
Yeah.
I gave all my clothes away once the pandemic
Yeah.
happened.
Yes. Yes. So true. It's so
Yeah.
true. And I think now people are in the state of mind where they just want to make smarter choices, like especially with all the fast fashion noise
Yeah.
that we're hearing and seeing and things that we're learning. I think people now are like, you know what? I want to have these staple pieces. I want to have my go-tos. I don't want to overshop, but I
Mhm.
need to have what makes sense for me. But I need help understanding what makes sense for me.
Exactly, exactly. And so, with that being said, I'm curious to hear your recommendations for what women can wear to conferences nowadays. Of course, it depends on like the conference and
Yeah.
location and whatnot, but that's one thing that I'm curious about is like what is appropriate. I feel like not from the conferences I've gone to recently, I feel like they're not totally business professional as much. It might be
Mhm,
women
mhm.
be wearing like cute long dresses with cute and comfy sneakers and stuff like that. But
Yep.
most people are like, how do I know what to wear to a conference? So I would just
Yes,
love to hear your tips
yes.
about what you share with clients when they're in that situation. If they have no idea what their dress code is like, how do they even know
Mhm.
where to get started with packing for that?
Well, I'll tell you where it starts. It starts with us working together to develop your signature style. And
hmm
this is the look that you feel really represents you, that you are comfortable showing up in, and that you understand to the point that you can go out shopping on your own and you will stay within the parameters of what you know you should buy and should wear for for your job, for your life, and for what you want to say to the world, basically.
hmm
So, what to wear kind of starts with understanding your style, having the correct pieces, and then obviously whatever requirements, maybe the company or the conference has. Overall, I'm a big fan of there's no such thing as overdressed. And
hmm
I think things now have become so much more casual. I think it's great. But if you're in a situation where you're like, well, I don't know. Some of the people are wearing sneakers to conferences. I don't know if that's okay. Don't. You don't
Yeah.
have to. That's a trendy thing. But overall, let's think about this. Like you're not going to go for a run. You're not going to the gym. You're not doing a lifestyle athletic workout. Like wear your shoes. Dress
Yeah.
for the job you want. Dress in whatever makes you feel confident, powerful, ready to learn, ready to introduce yourself to strangers, absorb information and share information. That
Yeah.
means, if you're going to be sitting, you don't want to wear something super tight. You don't want to be fidgeting. You don't want to be fixing your bra straps. You don't want to wear a spaghetti strap tank top. You know what I mean? So it's all about what's comfortable for you and then step it up a notch. If you're
Yes.
someone that doesn't usually wear jewelry, bring a necklace. Make yourself put on the earrings. Do you know what I mean? This is a conference. This doesn't happen all the time. You get to kind of show up and show out. It's a reason to get dressed. Use it for that. And at the same time, you're impressing yourself and fellow people that you either work with or are networking with. Like it's a win-win. You can't go wrong by dressing up within the parameters of what you're comfortable with.
Yes, so true. And you made a really
Does that
good
help?
point. Yes, that definitely helps. And you shared a really good reminder and point of like, there's no such thing as being too overdressed. But on the opposite end, I feel like we've all been in situations before where we're like, oh shoot, I'm totally underdressed and now I feel awkward because
Yes,
I
yes,
totally stand
yes.
out now.
Yeah, right, right, in a bad way. I mean,
Yes.
no, I'm not saying pack a sequin gown for a conference, but if you did, I bet everybody would compliment you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
bet
I'm
you'd be a
sure.
star. It's better than walking out in your pajamas. Like,
Yes, I agree.
Scale it back a little between PJs and sequin dress, and like you're in the zone.
Yes, I agree. And on the topic of conferences, because I'm thinking about outfit tips that you would give to people, I feel like conferences are notorious for being absolutely freezing, but they
Yes,
are in a location that's hot. So, like, you could be
yes,
in Florida or something like that, and it's so hot outside, but the conference hall or whatever itself is freezing cold. What do you
yes,
recommend to women in that situation for being like warm, but being able to be flexible enough to actually adjust to the temperature outside?
yes. Definitely layering
Mhm.
pieces. So I would say like a blouse, a shell, a tank top that, has enough coverage for like, not a spaghetti strap, but like a thicker
Mhm.
strap or a short sleeve, and then a layering piece.
Yeah.
What I personally, and part of my signature style, what I love are blazers. Like I love an edgy, powerful, like I'm a woman in business blazer. So I feel like with a polished jacket, I mean, even give me some shoulder pads, whatever you're comfortable with, you can't go wrong. You could also go with a cardigan. But this layering piece should act as like your outer hello world. This is me. I'm here. But then when you go outside for lunch break or after the conference, you take it off and you're not dying. And
Mhm.
furthermore, what I like about the layering option is because then conferences are also notorious for after we had you sit down for 9 or 10 hours, we now are going to give you an hour to change. And then you have to go meet at dinner and cocktail hour at this other place that you have to travel to. And it's still hot outside. It's still been cold in here, and who knows what it's going to be like over there. And you can wear something else in theme or whatever you want. So, say you're starting off with this, shell or blouse, and you have your jacket or your cardigan over, and maybe a skirt or dress pants or something like that. You can change and put your jeans on, or you can change
Mhm.
and put like a shorter, not mini, shorter skirt on. And then you can kind of lose your top piece, and all of a sudden your cocktail attire without having to overpack and without having to take a bunch of time to change.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Layers, I feel like, are always key because,
Always.
like you said, so much flexibility of being able to, once you get too hot, take it off. Once you get too cold, put it back on.
Yeah. Yes, it's mandatory.
Yes, I agree. And one thing that's exciting is that in just a few years, it'll be 20 years of having Trust in Trisha, which is crazy because you said 2020 or 2008, right? Is that right? Or is it 2016?
Why am I just realizing that was crazy? Oh my gosh, you are correct.
In 3 years, it'll be your 20th anniversary.
I need to start planning something now.
I was just gonna
Holy
say, I hope you planned
crap.
something big.
That is crazy that I didn't realize that until you just said it. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I know.
20 years.
Oh my gosh. Time flies. But one thing I think that's incredibly impressive, in addition to everything you're doing,
Is
is
that I'm 29 and my company's 20 years
exactly, you
old.
started
I'm
it when you were 9 years old.
crazy.
I think it's so inspiring that you've gone through a few recessions in your business. 2008, the
Mm,
year that you started, and
yeah,
then the pandemic, that was a slight
yeah,
recession. Now people are saying potentially an economic downturn. And so
yeah.
you have totally weathered it and pushed through. And I know that
Mm,
that is a conversation a lot of people are having right now is what do I do if the economy turns for the worst? And so, since you've gone through it a few times and have come out on top, I'd love to just hear your perspective on that and if there was anything in particular you did to keep moving forward.
yeah. So a lot of mindset work. When I initially started in 2008, I had a full-time job at the time and I had a part-time job.
Oh my
And it was,
gosh.
yeah, and it was at this part-time job that I said, I'm really going to start this business. And I like drew up my logo and I wrote my things and designed my business card at this second job, right? I kept my full-time job. It was actually as a merchandiser with Ralph Lauren. I kept that job I was there for 16 years total. So I kept that
Wow.
job for a long time and did my business on the side because I wasn't ready to really take the leap. And
Hmm.
then there was a time that Ralph Lauren actually let me go because they told me I had to choose between working for them or my business.
Oh my
And I said,
gosh.
oh no, bye then. And
Yeah.
so then it was amazing because it was the kick in the butt I needed because I was just relying on that weekly paycheck. And so that gave me a push and I had a bunch of success. And then it kind of drifted downward and I panicked. And then I got another job. And I hated it and said, this is why I don't work for people. And then I went back and started working for myself. So this is what I think are the biggest things. One, the mindset work that I did not do upfront. I did not do when I started. I was 28 years old. I didn't do that. I just said, I'm doing this because it's fun and I want to,
Mhm.
not even realizing my scarcity mindset with money and my relationship with money, right? Which is why I held on to this full-time job for so long. So I think that would have made a major difference. I mean, if you're in a tight spot and you're a business owner, but have to go work, don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed if you do Uber or you deliver for Amazon when you can pick your own hours. So what? Like it's still to support your dream. So I feel like if you feel like you need a cushion, absolutely do that and don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Also do the work to where you're so confident in yourself, you know that no matter what happens, you got this. And be prepared to pivot. Just like I said, with COVID, no one's getting dressed anymore. I can't go shop with clients. The stores are not open. So, like, what am I going to do? Oh, wow. Well, I'm seeing that people are now investing in their homes. I organize, I do a little bit of interior styling. Let me now focus on that part. So it's very much about pivoting, like they say, have multiple streams of income. It's at the point that I know I can count on myself. And I know that no matter what ways I have to pivot, I'm multi-talented. I know how to market, I know how to reach out, and I know that I'm a hard worker. So I will figure it out. And
Yeah.
that's actually part of the reason that I created my business name, Trust and Tricia, because when I first started, I like bought a book, How Do You Become a Stylist, which was super helpful. I bought it online. And it recommended, along with blogs and everything that I read, that your business name should be your name, comma, wardrobe consultant. And because I already know I dream big and I don't like to be in a box, I didn't want to name my company that because I knew that's not all I wanted to do. For example, I thought I wanted to be a realtor. I went and got my real estate license. I still have it. I'm licensed. Have yet to buy a house. I've assisted a bunch of people in transactions. It's something I keep in my back pocket because I would love to flip. Like I said, I do some interior styling in homes. So I feel like everything I'm interested in fits under this umbrella, which is why I'm so glad I gave myself sort of a generic business name. Because if I want to pop up and decide that I am now doing kitchens in addition to custom closets, I can. And I've
Yeah.
done so. Do the mindset work so that you are just so damn confident in yourself. You're like, well, bring it on. Bring it on, and I will pivot and I will make it happen. And if you hit some bumps in the road and need help along the way, get it. And there is nothing to be ashamed of. It doesn't mean it's the end of the road. You just pick up when you can't and keep doing the damn thing like you were doing.
Oh my gosh, so much gold there that you shared. And a few things specifically that I want to highlight because it was just so good. One being the ability to pivot and have multiple streams of income. That's huge.
Hmm.
And like you
Yeah.
said, you were so aware of what was changing and what people were looking for so that you could think to yourself, like, what do I need to do now in order to meet those needs of people where they are? And I think that's so smart, is just really
Yeah.
listening to what people need and what they're looking for and being able to provide a solution for that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of, and I almost kind of want to say men, sorry, fellas, but I feel like there are some people that just get so stuck in banging their head against the wall. No, this is what I do. This is how
Yeah.
I do it. This is what's going to happen. And it can happen to all of us. Like myself, for example, I didn't offer virtual sessions or virtual styling for the longest time because I don't even like shopping online. Like I want to shop, I want to feel it, touch it, try it, see it, comparison, sorry, comparison shop. So because I personally didn't like to shop online, I missed out on a lot being stubborn,
Mhm.
thinking, not realizing that everyone else is just fine with it. And now I style people online. I help people clean out their closets virtually, just like we're doing right now. I help people design their closets virtually and send them over a layout map. So even things like that, where it's like, step aside, get out of your own way. Yes, this is what you've been doing and how you've been doing for 5, 8, 10 years. Things have changed. And if you want to keep up, you change with it.
Yep.
And it's just still, it's not totally denying what you've done. It's just kind of pivoting, maybe learning something new. I had no idea what software would allow me to virtually shop with clients. Come to find out, there's like a plethora of options once I started looking into it. So definitely, listen to yourself, your intuition, your gut, what you want to
Mhm.
do, but then also listen to your clients, your friends, your family members. Like, what are they saying they need? What are they complaining about? Where within the trouble they're having on a day-to-day basis do you feel like you have a gift that could help out? And do it, try it. Why not?
Yes, so much truth. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Is just being able to have the flexibility and adaptability to be able to make those changes as needed. And also
Yeah.
with your point too about mindset. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's something I
Mm.
relate to as well. Is I felt like when I first started my business, I thought success was 90% strategy and 10% mindset. But now I'm like, nope, it's the opposite. 90% mindset,
Yeah,
10% strategy. It's
true,
huge.
true. And I remember I went to, conferences. I took courses. I hired a business coach, and they were stressing the why, right? Fall
Mhm.
back on the why. Why did you start your business? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to help people this way? And I thought I knew my why. Because I don't want to work for anyone. I want to work for myself. I'm talented in this. I see that I've helped people and I want to help more people. And I came from a single parent household. My mom constantly gave, and had like nothing left for herself. So I realized, wow, women do that. I don't want them to have to do that. I want to help. The crazy thing is, I have two sons. So I had my 7-year-old 7 years ago, and it was like a light bulb went off. This is my why. Wow. And I never really resonated with those like challenges or activities before when I had done them like in the conferences and on the workshops. I thought I did, but it
Mhm.
was like this inner something was just wow. Now I'm getting to show my children how to dream, live your dream, act on it, make your own rules, think outside of the box, be persistent, disciplined, motivated. Like, ah. And I think that's where a major shift happened in me too, where I said, there's no failing. There is
Right.
no failing. That's it. Like there's not a plan B. There doesn't have to be a plan B because mommy is plan A and we are going to do it.
Mhm.
So it's like initially I didn't understand how important mindset was. And then once you go through life changes, and like for me, it was having children, your why changes and it's just something you feel instinctually where it's like a gnawing feeling where it's like, I have to do this. Like I
Yeah.
have to provide this to the world or my soul will not feel settled. Don't
Mhm.
ignore that feeling. No
Oh
one.
my gosh. Yes. Oh, I love all of that. And like, I think what you really nailed upon too is that when you figure out your why, that is what keeps you going during the tough moments. When you deal with a
Yep.
crappy client, when you feel like nothing's going right, when you feel like you're just kind of hitting a plateau, it's that why that will keep
Mhm.
helping you putting each foot in front of the other every single day.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's what I learned from the beginning. And so I would go back and say, well, my why is I want to make people happy. My why is I want to help people. But that didn't keep me from keeping a job as a
Mhm.
crutch because that wasn't actually my true why.
Right.
Ah! But it took time and everything unfolded as it should.
Yes. And I
Because
want to
who would
go,
have known? Sorry to cut you off, but who would have
yeah.
known that at this point, like I always thought, I want to work for myself because I just am too bossy and I just want to do things my way. Like pretty much every job I've had, I've been the manager, like quickly
Mhm.
move up because I don't know, I'm the oldest of five. Like that's just me. I don't know. But I envisioned, okay, I want to work for myself so I can work my own hours. Never did I envision I want to work for myself because I have to do school drop off and pickup, and
Mhm.
because I'm chaperoning my son's field trip to the zoo in 2 weeks, and because they go to two different schools with two different schedules. And when there are half days and holidays, what do we do? I mean, the way that, like that saying, she designed a life that she loves resonates so much with me because, oh my God, I really did. And I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it. Like, to the extent of what I was doing, I thought, oh, good, I'm designing the schedule because that's what I want to do. And I want to have free time and work when I want and do something different every day. And now it's just like, oh, pop some kids in. Great. Like, how did I get that lucky? You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that you mentioned that because it's so true. I mean, working for yourself, there's nothing that compares to it with getting that flexibility of the autonomy of your own schedule and choosing not only when you work, but also who you work with. I feel like that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite parts is being able to
Oh,
say
yeah.
no, which you can't
Yeah,
always do in a job working for someone else. So it's just those
for
little freedoms.
sure. Yes, for sure. And it's not without the drawbacks, like I was telling you, I had just brought my kids to Great Wolf Lodge and I'm sitting there scheduling clients on my phone. I
Yeah.
mean, it was all of 20 minutes, but you know, it's not for everyone. But I'm okay with being occupied for a few minutes here or working late at night afterwards. Like that works for me.
Mhm.
So that's why it works so perfectly.
Yes, I love that. You mentioned something earlier that I want to go back to because I know it's so relevant for our audience right now. And you mentioned that part about holding on to your job that you had previously as like as like a crutch, like you had to rely
Mhm.
on it. And I know we
Yep.
talked about how mindset really helped you get past that, but I know that that's one thing a lot of our listeners face is having a 9 to 5 and then doing their business at nights and on weekends and basically whenever they have free time. So what
Mhm.
advice would you have to give them from your own experience for being able to be okay with letting go of that other job that they have and going all in on their own endeavors?
I know exactly the answer to this. People need to just be honest and talk about it and stop with the social media facades for
Hmm.
those that have that going on. And I'll tell you why, because I will never forget. So I was always embarrassed, and I didn't want to tell my clients that I had a full-time job because I felt like they might feel if I'm not fully invested in my business, why should they fully invest in me? I don't trust
Hmm.
myself. Why should they trust me? And trust is in my business name. Like, what am I doing? So I felt like, I didn't tell people and I felt a little embarrassed and, whatever. I'm booked during the week. I can only work on the weekend this week. No, that's all the time.
Hmm.
So I'll never forget. I had my business coach at the time did a branding photo shoot and I styled her for the shoot. So I was on set and she had this woman was an event planner and she kind of styled the sets as well. And she was there and she had also done the event styling for the conference that I went to where I met my business coach before I hired her. Okay. So this woman, I already was like, wow, she's amazing, and I'm following her on social media and just her presence, everything about the way she showed up. It was aspirational.
Hmm.
So we do the branding photo shoot. We wrap, go to lunch, because obviously it's what you got to do when you wrap, go to lunch, get some drinks. And we're sitting there, and then we start talking, and she says how she has another job. And she said, yeah, this is just kind of my routine. A few years or a few months, I'll work for myself, and then I need money again. So I just go get a job again. And then I save. And then after a few months, I stop, and then I work for myself again. And I was like,
My
what? Like
gosh.
hearing her say that, this woman that I'm like, wow, she styled everything in this major event for thousands of people. And, now we're doing this photo shoot. She comes with all these goodies and things, and she's so professional. And it was like, here for me, it's like my dirty little secret. And she's
Yeah.
just, yeah, unapologetic. This is what I do. And I was like, oh, there are people that do this. So that's why I said initially, don't be ashamed if you feel you have to pick up a side hustle or whatever. That's what everyone's doing. And,
Hmm.
and the other thing is like, okay, this might be going a little too far left, but get a side hustle, right? Start doing DoorDash. Then realize this is what's missing with DoorDash. This is what I would do differently. And maybe you start your own freaking DoorDash company. Like you
Yeah.
never know how you're going to pivot. And I don't think any part of your journey is ever something that you should be ashamed of.
Right.
Unapologetically you. That's it. This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is how I do it. I believe in myself. Don't need your approval. The end. Thank
Hmm.
you.
You nailed it, but you're right because I feel like especially now there are so many people who have like a full-time job and a side hustle or even multiple side hustles. And now it has a whole term. I don't know if you've heard of it, but now it's called like portfolio careers, where people just have like multiple gigs all together and just kind of try all these different things. And I
Fine.
think there's so much to be said about people being open about that because then someone else
Yeah.
can relate, just like you and that woman. You could totally relate to her.
And I didn't see that one coming at all. I'm like, I
Right.
have to be so professional in this meeting. And I'm like, oh wow. It was my dog says hi.
I love it.
Which is funny because speaking of that, I also have a side hustle as a dog walker for
There
no
you
reason other than
go.
I love dogs. Yeah, yeah. So like I don't it's so funny because when I go to clients' houses for like, to measure their closet or something or do their wardrobe, and they're like, are you okay with dogs? I put them away. I'm like, no, take them back out. I love them. So, I have a business name. Liz Teresa made me a logo. She
Yep.
does all my things because she's the best human. And like that might take off one day. I don't know. I might just have it on the back burner, and when my son gets old enough, that might be something he wants to do. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
So what? It's fun, and I want to do it. Do it.
Yeah. And that's a really good point that you just brought up too, is that like if you enjoy something and you can find a way to monetize it, why not do it?
Yes, I'm all for it.
Yes, so true. For anyone who's listening to this episode who is thinking about following a similar career path to yours, whether it's in fashion and styling or even with home design like you do with your functional closets, what advice would you have for them for getting started in these industries?
Just do it. Like just do it. Jump, and you'll get your wings on the way down. I always say.
Yeah.
I have mentored quite a few people, and a lot of them are gatherers, and they want to gather and research and get certifications. Not that that's a bad thing. And, take classes and learn and read and research and survey and never put anything into action. And that's actually coming from a place of fear, because if you just keep gathering information and waiting until you're ready, you can't fail, right? You can't fail from reading something. You can't fail from that. So
Hmm.
don't do that. Just go. Just read on the way. Like on the way to the thing. Just do it. Like I literally just put myself out there. And the way that I'm a very visual person, obviously, which is why I'm in this industry. So I was very like my business plan from the beginning was to be able to document and show everything. So, for example, if you say, "Oh, I do this. I'm a hairstylist," people are going to say, "Okay, well, what's your portfolio? Where are your clients? What have you done?" So, I think, especially in a visual industry, you have to be able to show people some type of references with a visual. So,
Yeah.
what I did was I got my friends and family and said, "Hey, I need to come do your wardrobe because I need to time it and see how long it takes me. I need to see what I need to do." And that's how I learned, oh, I should bring a garment rack with me. I should take out everything. But then I realized, no, taking out everything is way too much and it's overwhelming. I should take out everything for the season because we live in New England. And in December, what are we talking about shorts for? No reason. So
Right.
it's like I did the process for free, donated my time to people who would allow me to, and I just took notes of what was the best process, the best questionnaires, the best consulting questions. I did Survey Monkey and asked people, what are your issues with getting dressed? Why do you like shopping? Yes or no? And I interviewed tons of people, did things for free. I did a lot of like photo shoots for free just to be able to kind of like build my portfolio. I'm not saying you have to go out there and do a ton of things unpaid. What I'm saying is get yourself some reviews, go through the process when there's not the pressure of it being a stranger so that
Hmm.
you really get comfortable with it if you haven't done it in that formal of a way. Write everything down, and the thing that I love that I've told people that I've mentored is like we live in the digital age. You can change whatever you want whenever you want. So don't wait to come up with your business name for 5 years. Don't be afraid of your logo and, oh my gosh, is this one not good enough? I have to wait. I changed my logo 3 times. I
Right.
rebranded twice. Like I suddenly added closets in, and I have contractors and installers, and we do paint and we build walls and do lighting. Like this started from me telling you what shirt to wear with what pants. Okay. So we're so fortunate now. And with this portfolio career thing you
Yes.
just said,
Yep.
that's amazing. Like we're in the age where we can change, we can do we can do things like that. We can publish a book and then edit it on Amazon or publish a second copy. Like, so don't be afraid, just do it, put yourself out there. And if you have to change, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's what you shared reminds me of the ideology that done is better than perfect. I mean, you brought up the
Wow.
whole point of like, just do it. Like, I
Yes.
always feel like no matter what we want to do in life, we're always going to come up with at least one excuse that stops us from doing it. So, might as well just do it anyway and go in full
Yeah.
force. So, I am so, so glad that you brought that point up too.
Yeah, for sure. Just do it.
Yes.
Like,
Love
like
it.
if you want to talk to me about doing it, let's talk and walk because we're headed there. We're going to start. You can talk all you want, but we're on our way. Let's go.
I love that. One of my favorite questions to ask our guests is what their favorite local businesses are to support. So I'm curious to hear what your recommendations might be.
Okay. Like there's so many. Like there's a ton. So I think what I want to say, right? And normally I would talk about food. I can talk about a lot of great food places and a lot of great boutiques. I think what I really want to kind of give a shout out to are two interior designers that I've worked really closely with. One is Desiree Washington, Designs by Des Interiors. She's amazing. We've worked together on some projects, and I have a 1.5 year old. She has a 1 year old. So it was like we met on social media. We actually met through Boston Business Women. And we formed such a relationship online to where, when she got pregnant with her second, she's like, Trisha, I know you just had a second baby. How does this impact business? How do you do this? And just
Mhm.
the way that we bounce ideas off each other and live such a similar lifestyle and have similar tastes. It's just so amazing to have another woman root me on and cheer me on and lift me up and come to me for advice. I'll come to her for advice. We help each other so much. It's just amazing to have someone like that by your side when you're a solopreneur. And the
Yes.
second person is Alicia St. Germain of Hello Pearl Interiors. Same deal. We've worked together. She's amazing. She is like I have goosebumps. She lives out loud no matter what she's going through, and it is so amazing to see and to be part of her journey. And I'm so proud of her because she actually just opened a boutique in Easton for Hello Pearl Interiors. And it's like a meeting place. She's having networking events, but she's also selling some vintage goods out of there and just watching her journey of how she redid the place and made it her own. She's big on color. She mixes colors that like I don't even understand how she's so talented. And then it's like, wow, that looks amazing together. So now she's put it in a place that people can actually go and see. But then she's trying to nurture relationships between women and encouraging people to come and meet and have events. And I feel like the sisterhood, the love, the camaraderie, it's like you can't beat that. So like these are talented women, but they're women that I am so fortunate to have by my side. So I think that's who I want to shout out. And those are my, I think, local businesses those are my go-to girls.
Oh, so sweet. And I love that you shouted out Des because she was a guest about a year ago and shouted out you.
Huh. Are you joking? I didn't even see.
You two are like totally on the same wavelength, and I can
We
tell just from what you both have shared about each other, you two are like soul sisters.
yeah. Oh, I gotta text her when we get off. Oh my God, I didn't even know that. That's so funny.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Wow.
But it goes to show that you both have formed a solid relationship, and it's a good point too that like forming relationships with other people in your industry is huge.
It is right because it's not like I said, I've done some interior design work, not to the level that she is. She's on it. But it's not a case where we feel like, oh, we're competing for the same client. Like we've
Mhm.
shouted each other out, we've passed each other work. I mean, it's all love. It's all love. There are enough
Yes.
people to go around, and like the connections that you make are not worth cattiness.
100%. 100%. Trisha, this has been such a fun episode, and I've really enjoyed having
Guys,
you on the show.
can I come back tomorrow?
I know, right? We're gonna have to like do it weekly. People would love that. And now I'd love to have you share with our listeners where they can find you online in case they'd like to reach out.
Yes, please. So I am at trustintricia.co, and that's my website. And then I'm Trustin Tricia on social media everywhere. It's Tricia. And I actually have a Facebook group that it just encourages you to really shop in your closet. It gives you tips. So if you go on my Trust and Trisha Facebook page, there's a link to the group there. I just changed the name and I don't remember it all the way. It's Weird What You Own something something. But anyhow, the link is on my Facebook page. It's, it's just a lot of fun because again, talking about camaraderie and sisterhood, you get to post
Mhm.
your pictures of your clothes or your outfit and everyone's cheering you on. It's a really cool community in place. So trust in Trisha everywhere and anywhere.
Amazing. And I will link to all of your places in the show notes so that our listeners can easily find you and connect from there. But thank you so much again for coming on today's show.
Thank you so much. And good luck to you. I love, love, love what you're doing.
Aw, thanks.